Hi everyone, this is Eric Benson from North Kingstown, Rhode Island on July 20th, 2025. It's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon and I'd say it's about 80 degrees and the humidity is about 65%, and I'd like to do a little hive inspection, a brief one, on the hive on the end of my apiary. I've just split that hive from the larger hive next to it, the green one, and I'd like to see how things are going inside there, just to check on, what's going on, and to see how the queen is doing. If we can find her. If we can't, well, we're definitely going to look for eggs and larvae, and that'll give me a good indication that she's in there somewhere. Any rate, just to show you who I am. How you doing there? This is Eric. Just wanted to make sure you know who's behind the camera. Any rate, just a brief explanation of my apiary here. I've got 4 hives, all of different colors, so that I try to minimize drifting, if you know what I mean. And as you can see, well, there's quite a bit of activity going on due to the fact that the bees are really enjoying a nice day in Rhode Island here. We've had the spring was very, very wet, and everything took quite a bit of time to rebound. But at any rate, it's summertime now, and things are doing well. Let's get to work, and I want to show you how I light my smoker. Okay, let's go on over here. Put my camera down on my, of course, music stand. It works great. And what I use is, for my smoker fuel, I use cutoffs from a textile mill. I buy it from Woods Beekeeping Academy up in Smithfield, Rhode Island. They come in 5-pound packages, and they usually, white, never any other color, not chlorinated or anything like that. It's just extras from the textile processing, and the fuel works really well, versus, I could use leaves, pine needles. I've got plenty of those around here, that's for sure, but I tend to stay with this type of fuel because it seems to stay lit a lot longer. Any rate, let me crank up my propane torch and light it right up. Doesn't take much to get this lit. Just pop on the bellows. Okay. Pretty much stays lit right now. Cover that. There we go. Alright, put my gloves on. Maybe eventually I'll do inspections without gloves, because I'm getting a little bit more apt to know when to go into hives and when not to go into hives. So you can still get stung through these nitrile gloves, but the way you handle the bees, the time of day, is really important, especially for me. I never approach the bees late at night. That would be a bad situation due to the fact that bees like to crawl at night and have a serious problem. So, but why would you want to go into a hive late at night anyways? Okay, try to sit up here. Get the smoker lit. Glasses on. Oh, and I also should say, on this inspection, I am not going to do a might wash. It's just a little, it'll take a little too long, and I don't feel there's a need for it just yet. I will do it soon. All right, let's bring this over here so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. Okay, good, very good. Okay, with all hive inspections, I always approach the hive from the back, never the front, and it's just basic prevention from getting stung. You don't want to walk in front of the flight of the bees. That would not be a good idea. Puff the front a couple times just to let them know they're coming. And then I just kind of go around a little bit. And one interesting thing about this hive is if you look in the front, let's go around here. You look at the front, the bees are actually going in at the top of the hive. I've got an excluder on down the bottom. I might want to just open that up completely today so they get better access to coming on in. Eventually I'm going to put a mouse excluder on. That's what's on the other one. I've just left that on. It's just kind of a precaution to minimize mice wanting to hop in there and find a nice little home. Not just yet, but given the end of August, definitely get the mouse excluders on. And also you could, or put a robbing screen on, because that's when the yellow jacket populations really increase very high. Speaking about yellow jackets, I've already put traps up. There's one over there, and then of course there's one over there, just to help minimize the yellow jacket problem here. We'll still get them, but at any rate. All right, one handy tool I have on the top here is a frame rest in which you can, once you take the top off, move the frames over a bit. You can push this right down in the hive body, and when you want to pull a frame out to inspect it, you can actually put it right on this, and it will rest, the two ears will rest on one side and this side, and then you can actually take a look and see what's going on the comb and all that, so you're not fumbling around. It really helps an awful lot. I picked this tool up a long time ago, and it works. All right. When I take the top cover off, the telescoping cover, I always flip it over so I can stack individual components of the hive, the inner cover, the medium super, and eventually the deep super if I have to take that off. Put them on top one another, 45 degrees each. I manipulate each body 45 degrees, or no, 90 degrees, I'm sorry, on top of one another, so I can just stack them the way I go. And it works a little better, and it keeps the hives off the ground. Okay, let's see what's going on. Oh, look at this. Okay, as you can see, they're doing very well. Oh, okay, that's good. However, one thing I have seen is, I just saw it a moment ago, a small hive beetle running around. And we tend to get them here in Rhode Island. There's one right there. So I might want to address that problem too. Put a few Swiffer Jet, what are they called? I have them in my little kit here. I think I used them all up. No, I don't. Beetle be gone. They're little towels, and the beetles become ensnared in them. You put them on top of the brood box frames, and beetles seem to get ensnared in there and die. It's just kind of a nice non-chemical way to do it, and the bees just kind of chew up the rest of it. So anyhow, all right, let's keep it examining and see what's going on here. Alright. Let me smoke this a little bit. Open it right up and take a look at a few frames. Sometimes, look at that, wow. Well, it seems like we have a very busy population. Look at this. Nice. Top barbs seem to be full of bees, so I may consider on adding an extra super because I don't want them to become seriously honey bound on the bottom, and you might have a swarming problem. Let's kind of force the bees down. Smoking too much. Not good. Okay, right. I have a hive grappling tool, or a frame grappling tool. There we go. Put this in right here if I can maneuver it. Try to pull this out. A lot of propolis today. Look at that. Oh, look at that. That's beautiful. We'll put our frame support in. Hang that right there. Put our frame down. And it looks like I'm just going to leave the grappling tool on top here so I can push this back in. But it looks like the queen has been doing a good job. We've got a little bit of honey right in the corner right there. A little bit of honey right there in that corner. And I should add that this hive has no queen excluder on it, so I wanted the queen to lay up here in the medium also. So hence, you see a nice brood pattern. A few empty holes here and there, but that's not bad. Okay. That's good. That's nice to see. Nice to see. I don't see anything on the lower borders here. Okay. Just move slowly. Let's see if I can find some eggs. Here's the light. Oh, look at the brood. There's larvae in there. I see larvae. I see larvae on the bottom right there. And do I see any eggs? I don't see any eggs. Well, that's a good sign anyways. I've seen larvae, but no eggs. So maybe she finished up on this side. And look at the other side here. Oh goodness. Let's put this down so I can swish this one in. I think it might be time to add an extra super. Yeah, that's beautiful. That's good. There we go. On this side, look at all the capped brood. A few of them are capped. Okay. Yep, see the brood? I'm using the sunlight instead of a flashlight. It's much easier this way because I've used an LED light before with the bees, and it tends to cause them to get stirred up, incite them a little bit, and we don't like to do that. Makes them angry. But gang, it looks great right now. So in about, I don't know when these were, but probably by middle of next week or so, these will start hatching. Okay, let's put this around. Let's take a look at the frames on let's take a look at the frames on them. The brood chamber. Support right here. There we go. Okay. That's good. Very good. Alright. This might be a little difficult. Okay, what I've done, previously I did put some beetle be gone traps in here, and look what's happened. This is to kill hive beetles, but the bees have actually eaten them up and chewed them right up. Oh my. Also, what I've done in this brood box is I put a drone frame in for the queen to lay drones in. Part of my IPM methods that I keep to is I let the queen fill this up with drone brood, and hopefully at the opportune time, if I don't miss a day or two, take this frame out and put it in the freezer for 48 hours, whereby killing all drone brood in there. And then after 48 hours, take it out, bring it back here, or maybe scratch the caps, and the bees will actually clean them out. It provides a brood break for varroa, and very, very important to minimize varroa and all the other viruses that parasite carries with it. At any rate, let's take a look at a couple of frames. don't see anything in here. Goodness. Maybe it's time to scratch these old frames and put new ones in. That does not look good. Looks like everyone's living in the upper medium. Oh, look at this. That's beautiful. Let's take a look at this. Queen is actually laying down here. He's found her way down in the bottom. Nice, huh? Alright, let's see. What do we see? Let me see. Look at that. Cat brood. Cat brood. Let's see any honey in the corners. No honey in the corners. That's very good. That's good. Okay down here. Let's see. Look at the other side. Carefully. And this side is also. You can kind of tap the bees a little bit to move them. And there you have it. Look at that. Beautiful. Very, very nice. Got a good queen in here. He's doing really well. Well, I've seen larvae. Plenty of it. So, evidently she's laying, but I can't seem to find the eggs. There's some more. Very good. That looks nice. It's really nice. Looks great. Let's take a better look at what's going on here. There we go. Larvae's right down there. You can see it. See it? Oh, right there. More larvae. Right in there. Very good. Okay. Let's put this down. Turn it around. Put this back in. Alright, I'm going to try to check one more frame. Kingstown. This side. If you look really carefully, you can see larvae, which is right up here. Right up there. There's more larvae. Anyway, being fed royal jelly. And speaking about royal jelly, I'm going to check for swarm cells or supersedure cells, and I don't see any. Yes. Well, but however, there's a large cell right there, and it's full with larvae. So you could have a supersedure cell being built right there. Oh goodness. Let's take a look here. Right. The cell is right there. Okay, and that's got a larvae in it, so it's on its way to becoming a queen. Alright. Wow. The queen's been very busy. I think the population is going to expand very quickly in this hive. There's nothing on the ground phone. Nothing yet. I don't see any drone. Let's see. Well, it's been rather busy. Do I see any? I don't see any. Quite a bit of honey being filled in. A little bit of bee red. Way inside. Let's see what's going on this side. Okay, well, that's going to be about it for this inspection. Things look to be, on the surface, look to be okay. To actually get a varroa count, I'd have to do a mite wash. And I'm not going to get into that today. I think I've kind of got them a little excited, but not too bad. You can hear them. But I'm very pleased about what I see here. This is good. I think I'll lay 2 more beetle begone sheets down the bottom here. See these crazy little Swiffer things, but they seem to work. These 2. Here's this one. The beetles get stuck. I don't see too many beetles this time around. And that will be that. Alright. cool off. And also one thing I have to add is I have a bottom board on this hive, but I use a slatted bottom board, or a slatted frame below or above the bottom board, below the deep, and that aids in ventilation, and especially in the summertime, like right now. Actually, you know what? I'm going to open up the bottom so the bees can come and go as they please a little better. Let's see if I can pull that out. All right. That should improve ventilation a little bit. Push this back. The bottom board is screened also. It helps in fighting varroa that managed to eventually attach itself to the bees. Sometimes will fall off due to the fact that bees will try to groom one another, and it will fall right through the screened bottom board down to the ground. The mites won't be able to return to the hive. Very helpful. Okay, let's reassemble this. Things look good. And one thing I do is when I put hive bodies back on, drop it down, carefully drop it down to 45 degrees, and then slowly turn it to minimize crushing any bees. Manipulate it. Okay. Given the fact that I feel that this hive is probably going to become very popular soon, I'm going to add a medium super on top of this one. Let me go get that, and we'll be good to go. Down a little bit, pushing back down. Because again, I have to give the queen room to lay. And one last thing before I close everything up, I want to show you the fact that each frame I make, and I only use wax material on the back, no plastic. I always date the frame in which it was made. It just aids in determining what date, obviously, the frame was built, and when I should actually cycle the frames out. I'll usually give each frame about 2 years. It depends on how bad it is, but it helps minimize disease within the hive due to the fact that honey, or not honey, but the wax itself can be a sink to pesticides and herbicides, and I live in a residential neighborhood, so use of those chemicals is rather prevalent. So you know, I just have to care for the health of my bees. It's very important. Okay. All right. I'm going to put the inner cover back on and the outer cover back on top of that with a stick, holding it open slightly, as you can see on the other hives, just to improve ventilation, because when it gets really hot, you'll see the bees bearding on the outside. Actually, they beard up top here. but they will beard on the bottom, and that tells you that the internal temperature of the hive is up there, probably above 97 degrees or 95 degrees. That's pretty hot. So, and when it's hot and steamy, that's tough on the gang. One thing I do is I make sure there's water sources all around, so the bees do have a place to pick up water if they choose to. Over in my gardens, I have at least 3 water baths, so they can go to that. But beekeepers know that bees like to go to dirty water sources. Why? I don't know. I'd have to read up on that one. But at any rate, I hope you enjoyed this. This is what I do when I check my hives. Thank you for watching.